None of us can predict the future. I'm in a beautiful cemetery right now. Some people lived until over a century. Some never got to experience life. But what if you could predict the future? What would you do with it? Would you keep it to yourself and use that knowledge to gain? Or would you write it down for the whole world to know? Well, that's exactly what one man did in the 16th century. After having a spiritual awakening, a man named Nostradamus began to write down prophecies that he saw in his mind's eye. In fact, over 6,300 of them. Now, anybody can make a prediction, but what made these so special was their accuracy. Some of them were vague and kind of fit into a narrative, such as the bombings of Hiroshima and even the death of some world leaders, such as Queen Elizabeth. But some of them were remarkably accurate and down to a very small finite point, such as when King Henry II died, describing the wounds, his death, who would kill him, and even the Great London Fire, describing the year, the location, and the catastrophe. Now, none of this should really come as a surprise. I think everyone knows at least a little bit about Nostradamus and his predictions. But did you know what he did before that? He was actually a child of not one, not two, not three, but 9. And he always was fascinated by medicine and healing and helping people. So, at the ripe old age of 14, he decided he was going to go to university. But it got shut down by the plague. And then he went to another one, but he got quickly expelled from there because he was talking bad on other doctors and their practices. Thought he knew better. Turns out he may have. After getting expelled, he went on a tour of Europe where he learned all about alchemy. He began to use this knowledge to help people, and when the other plague came around, he began to make something called rose pills. These rose pills were basically rose hips mixed with some other stuff that incidentally had a bunch of vitamin C and helped a bunch of people not die from the plague. And he did a lot of great stuff. He even made a cookbook. Yes, a cookbook. He made a cookbook that had everything from pies to treats and lots of sweets. But one of the more interesting things was a love jam. Needless to say, Nostradamus was very interesting and fascinating, but there's so much more that you could know. If you want to learn more, tune into the podcast this Thursday, and you'll be fascinated. November 16th, 2023. See what he predicted.